afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us here tonight on the Absolute Truth Radio Show. I'm your host, Donnell Scott, and this is my co-host, Pamela Dembo, media extraordinaire.
Hello. You
Hello.
never give me an opportunity to say hi.
Well, say hello to everyone again. Say it one more time so they can hear you.
Hello, everyone.
Well, you know what? Last time we were here last week, we talked a lot about Christmas and was hoping everybody had a great Christmas, and we hope that you did. I'm sure that we'll talk a little bit about that tonight, but we got a couple of topics we want to bring to you this evening. I mean, we really want to really share some things about this new year that's upon us and what everyone is looking for, and maybe some of the resolutions that you might have for yourself and your families. We want to talk a little bit about that, even share some of our resolutions. But as well, we're gonna.
Was I supposed to come prepared with resolutions?
Yeah, I hope you have some resolutions.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Not revelations, but resolutions. I mean,
Well, I'll take them both.
well, if you ain't got no resolution, I'll give you a revelation. All right, amen to that. But tonight we're also going to talk a little bit about an issue that's on the agenda for Georgia this year, probably in the new year, and that's the new bill that's trying to be pushed through the Senate as far as having more gambling in Georgia, or creating opportunity for casinos to be a part of the Georgia landscape. So we definitely want to make sure you all are tuned in for this evening, and definitely want to hear from you. Remember our call-in number is 404-474-0080.
Call us.
That's 404-474-00.
What? Start over?
404.
Okay.
474-0080. So we'll be right back with the absolute truth. Thank you. All right, thank you all for joining us here again on the Absolute Truth.
Y'all, look.
You're always talking to somebody. We're supposed to be talking to them.
Look, and it's funny because this goes right in line with what we're doing. I'm supposed to be making New Year's
resolutions,
plans.
Okay, well, you don't want to make them tonight. I mean,
well, no,
start tomorrow, maybe.
I know, but I was just trying to text someone and let them know, like, look, I haven't forgotten. I'm still in the process of trying to plan for the group outing.
Let me ask you this, even before we start talking about the New Year's resolution. How was your Christmas?
It was quiet.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And great. I watched 4 movies. I watched one on on Christmas Eve.
Already hit.
And I know, right? And then I watched 3 on Christmas Day, and then I went and had a non-traditional meal. It was good. It was good.
What do you consider a non-traditional meal?
No ham, no turkey, no
Sound like you had a TV
sweet
dinner.
potatoes.
Like you had a TV dinner.
It was far from TV. Let me tell you what I had.
What's that?
Can you say salmon?
Salmon?
Can you say it's not salmon?
What is it?
Salmon. Okay, see, this is how you get those people who let me educate you.
Maybe somebody could tell us what.
You. Yeah, someone needs to call. Nobody needs to call because I'm gonna pull it up and we're gonna
salmon,
listen.
okay.
The L is silent.
Oh, the L is silent. Salmon.
All the people, I want some salmon.
When
I don't know what that is.
When you're from the South, there's an L in there. Salmon.
Well,
so it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different.
Webster Dictionary.
I tell you what, I'm so glad you had a non-traditional
Wait,
meal.
I wanted to finish telling about my meal.
Go ahead.
I had salmon, but I also had steak.
Salmon and steak?
And chicken.
And chicken?
And then roasted vegetables.
Well, that should be your New Year's resolution, how to push back from the table when come Christmas time. That should be for next year.
What did you eat? Did you cook anything?
Did you
help prepare the meal or just eat it?
Oh, of course, I just ate it this time. I mean,
this time.
Yeah, I mean, wife and family cooked a nice meal.
We cooked, they cooked.
They cooked. I ate. I mean, of course, but I mean, it was all good. The kids got a chance to open up their gifts and have a good time and enjoy just a festive day and a relaxing day. I mean, I wasn't really trying to do a whole lot.
You never are.
No, of course. Sometimes we got to rest. And my mom came to the house, came for a few minutes, and showed her face. We gave her some things.
She might show up.
And she showed up, and she didn't show out, so that's a great thing.
Oh yeah.
So she came. But I mean, it was good, and hopefully everyone out there had a great Christmas, and everybody received what they desired, what they needed. But of course, we still want to remember what the Christ in Christmas actually means, and of course, it's for the birth of Jesus. Even though we know.
Did anybody give Jesus a gift?
I mean, we prayed, we talked to him.
We talked to him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, that ain't a gift. That's just what you should be doing every day. So we're gonna work on that next year, y'all.
That's our New Year's resolution.
Yes, the New Year's resolution. You need to give Jesus a gift because it's his birthday, right?
We'll do that exactly.
Okay.
And again, we were talking about New Year's resolution. I mean, and since you were even trying to come up with some right now, what are some of your resolutions for 2016?
Well, I don't per se make New Year's resolutions. I don't call them that. I make New Year's plans.
New Year plans, okay. And why do you call them plans? So
what I'm going to accomplish in the new year.
Okay.
Well, and it could just kind of be a mental thing, kind of trick yourself, like resolution. It almost feels like you have to do it, and it's like, but if it's like a plan, like you set out, it's like, well, I'm here now. And of course, mine is a little bit more intense because I break it down into categories. So let's say financially, I'm like, I'm here now. By the end of the year, I want to be here. And so then I'll set in place, a plan of action to make sure that I get there. So I've got my financial plan together already. So yeah, that and a spiritual plan and a fitness plan.
Wow.
And I think it's like 6 things.
Do you normally stick to those plans, or do you always achieve what it is that you put on your list to do in that year?
Yes, because I'm a planner, and so and I think one of the key things with people in their resolutions, they make them so big and truly unattainable.
Right.
Mine are, is very attainable. You know what I'm saying?
But I thought you want to try to push yourself.
Yeah, you do want. Well, you want to, but it depends on what you mean by pushing. So let's say financially, if I want to save a certain amount of money, well, that you just set the plan and you do it, and that might be stretching you a little bit in. Okay, well, that's going to turn out is I'm not going to eat out as much, and I'll put that money over here.
Or maybe if you eat out, you eat out with coupons.
Oh, I don't even know what a coupon looks like.
Well, based on what you said you had for Christmas, I can see why.
Hardy har. So I think so that's kind of what it is, for me. But so I do set goals, and I think it's always good to say, okay, and here's the other thing. Okay. It could change in the middle. So if I'm going on throughout the year and I'm like, I'm not opposed to changing or revising.
Okay.
Revising the plan. You know what I'm saying?
And depending on how it's working for you, or depending on if you're saving enough money or if you are spending more money. Is that how you revise your plan?
Yeah, like it's like, okay, well, this is obviously not working. I haven't saved a dime, and basically what I said I was gonna save. Now I'm gonna be in Bora Bora. I'll see y'all when I get back. No. That's terrible. But I remember back in the day when I did set resolutions. I mean, of course, the one was I'm gonna be in a gym. Right. The gym one is like the number one.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, because what I did was I kind of printed out a list of last year's resolution that most people actually
top
ones they had.
And
number one was lose weight,
because everybody wants to lose weight.
Of course they do.
Why do they think at the beginning of the year that it's really going to start then? I mean,
and that's what you want to be careful about, rather than trying to start like maybe a couple of days before the New Year's. You want to try to prepare yourself a little bit beforehand, and then maybe kind of march yourself into whatever that new thing you're trying to do. But
I think people go from like 0 to 100. They're like they haven't ever worked out at all in their life, right? And they have never ever pushed themselves away from a table, right? And so they're like, 2016 is going to be the year.
I lose 100 pounds.
Yeah, I'm going to lose. And this is what they do. I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week, right? And then
I'm going to drive by the gym 5 days a week.
And then I'm going to go on like a diet. Like I'm only going to eat like vegetables and fruit. And you're setting yourself up for failure.
And that does happen. And that, again, that was number one. Number two was getting organized. people want to feel like they want to get more organized.
I wouldn't have put that one up top.
Why?
I mean, because I don't think.
Well, you're a
I
planner
guess I
anyway,
don't
though,
think.
see?
Yeah, I'm pretty organized. But I don't think that people care about organization. That's what
I mean,
feel.
of course they do. I mean, it's a busy world. In order for you to take, in order for things to happen, you need to be in a position where you can, take care of whatever those concerns, issues may be in your personal life, home life, business life, or and such. So
I
can
did
see why
just talk to
getting
my
organized-
sister. I'm sorry,
Oh,
I'm
yeah?
talking over you. I have a lot to say today.
I can see
So
it.
I did talk to my sister today, and that's exactly what she said. She said, I have to get my schedule together.
Is that right?
Because she has a lot of kids,
Okay.
like you do.
A lot of kids.
And yeah,
What's a
like
lot of
you do.
kids?
Y'all got like basketball teams. But anyway,
But again, that was number 2. Number 3 was spend less, save more. Kind of what you were just mentioning
yeah.
about spend less, save more. Another one, number 4, was enjoy life to the fullest. Enjoy life to, which I think is great. But do people actually stick to that? Do they really? How do you really incorporate
but
that into
that's-
your
That's
resolution?
that's not like tangible. That's very kind of like.
Well, for some people it might be. It may be for someone who thinks that
What does that mean?
I mean, this year I might want to do more.
You want to smell the roses? You
No,
wanna go
not to smell
outside
the
and
roses,
smell
but
some
I might want to be more adventurous. I might want to take on things that I've always wanted to do, and I haven't done them. So I'm going to take this year and try to achieve those.
I will tell you a personal goal that I have.
What's that?
And then, so you all, like, if I'm getting it done, then
Okay.
you all will know.
You will know.
Because I'll say some things
Okay.
on the show. But yes, I am going to become fluent in Spanish.
Oh, ¿cómo está usted? Oh, not right now.
Como está
¿Cómo
usted?
está usted? Yes.
How are you?
I know what I'm
Muy
saying.
bien. I'm just
Oh, okay.
asking. Like, you said usted. I never put that
Yeah,
behind there.
uh-huh.
Muy bien. ¿Y
Muy,
tú?
muy bien, y tú?
No. Can't you repeat what I said?
Hey, listen, I know my Spanish.
You don't know any Spanish. I don't know any Spanish.
I know more than
You don't know any Spanish.
I know more than
But
you
that's
do.
just one of my personal goals. Folks, stay tuned and see how that
Well,
all turns
while she working on her Spanish.
Yeah.
And the other one that was on there was, again, we talked about fitness, which is staying fit and being healthy. Another one was people wanted to learn something exciting, kind of what you're talking about, a
Yeah.
language.
Is travel on there?
Well, they say that, when you learn a new language, that helps your brain, as you get older. So, it's a good thing.
Yay, help my
know.
brain.
Another one was people, a lot of times on most people, this is quit smoking, right? And help others in their dreams. That's kind of something that's on my list as well. Some people fall in love.
Oh,
Wow. That's a different show.
I fall in love.
That's a different show. Now, don't sing it in Spanish. In the last,
Cuando.
no. And the last one was spend more time with family, which I actually think that should be actually toward the top of
Well,
the
I
list.
think a couple of these need to be higher up on the list.
Well, I'll tell you what, one of my New Year's resolution is, of course, definitely is not just spend more time with family, but really take a
Is not to spend
no.
time
That's,
with
no.
family.
What I'm saying, spend more time with family. But
Sorry,
but
wife and
No,
kids.
there's other things that are included in that,
Okay,
which
got it.
means make more investment into the family, make more investment into the
understand.
children. So not just spending time with them, but with the time that you spend investing and planning in them, things that's going to help them, down
Make
the
it
road.
like quality, not
Right,
just like
right.
you're in a room. I'm in
Right,
a room.
exactly. So that's one of the big things. And also, for me, is helping others to become better. Try to not only just challenge them, not just in 2016, but in the years to come, and help put some things in place. So each year they don't always have to have this long list of resolutions, that they need in order for them to feel like they're making some accomplishments. So those are some of the two big things. And also, I do want to go back to eating healthy as well. So
Going back to what happened?
bread.
Oh, bread happened.
Bread, yeah.
Breaking bread.
It's something about bread. People want to sit down,
all
everybody
about
want to
the
be bread.
bread.
So we got to, I want
Do you
to,
have a bread maker at the house?
no, I don't have a bread maker in the house.
That's what I'm gonna get you for your birthday.
Well, the bread maker is Publix. They make bread.
I mean, yeah, but you
That's
can
what you
make
gonna
some
get.
at the house, and it's
I mean, no,
fresh, and it
no.
can be healthier, and it won't have all the preservatives
I
and stuff in
just
it.
want to eat it. I don't want to sit there and watch it make itself. I just want to eat it. That's it. By the time it makes it, I don't want bread anymore.
Okay.
But I mean, that's a good idea though. So I mean, I want to get back to eating healthy.
Okay. So eating healthy.
And also one thing that I did a
You want
couple
to
of
go to
years
the
ago.
doctor?
Yeah, I've gone to the doctor. I do that. I'm doing that regularly now. But I stopped drinking all of the sodas and sweets.
Now
drinks
that's
and
good.
Stuff like that. Now, every now and then, I may have a shake, but then somebody snuck some tea into the house. And I had to figure out how disciplined I was, and I just kept looking at it. I didn't touch it, but that used to be one of my weaknesses. So I have conquered the tea. It is conquered.
Well, that one time
you
conquered it.
If I can get past,
like it's a battle. It's going to be a day. Every time it comes in the house, it's going to be a battle.
Hey, I can get through it. I have the will. I'm disciplined. I see it. I open the refrigerator. I close the refrigerator. So I am declaring that the discipline in that area is set and done now.
It is said and done.
It's said and done. So no more. And time if I do drink it is because I choose to.
Because you choose.
And not just because it's there. So whoever put that tea in the refrigerator, I'll talk to you when I get home. Okay?
I was looking at an article that said, because my question to you is, how many people or what percentage do you think of people who make resolutions, how many of them do you think keep them?
I think about maybe 48% of maybe the American population makes them, maybe about 8 to 10% keep them.
That's right. Is that not a crazy number? So you would think, why are you even making them? Like, so we're just making them just not to.
People make them, but the things that they're having some issues and problems with is because your resolutions usually reside in habits, good habits and bad habits. So if you're making these resolutions and they're bad habits, it takes some time to get out of a bad habit. And if you don't
only tackle one thing,
right.
Like, don't tackle 12 things.
Well, I mean, some people may be good at multitasking, but some people may be good at failure too.
8% shows that they're not.
Well, that's probably
just in case you think you are.
Well, like she said, cut back. Don't try to do too many things at one time. One resolution at a time. Maybe take it by quarter. But at the end of the day, if that number is as low as it is, again, maybe a lot of those people are putting themselves in a position where they just are trying to do too much at one time.
Yeah, their goals aren't, probably, attainable.
You don't think they're attainable?
Yeah, I don't think that they necessarily are. So I think sometimes if you're comfortable, you can like show someone like your goals or whatever and say, what do you think about these? Maybe I'll show you mine.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll show you mine and I'll say, what do you think about these?
Okay. Are they obtainable or are they just something you just wrote down because...
They are attainable, and I will show you exactly how I plan on.
Now, my list has 10. How many on your list?
How many things? Oh, there's not 10 on mine.
It's not
10 on mine.
Maybe 2 or 3.
No. I have categories.
Okay.
I have like 5 categories.
So, can you unequivocally say tonight that you will obtain every goal that's on your list as far as your 2016 resolution?
I can say that. I'm gonna try my darndest.
Well, no,
that's what I can say.
I want you to look at them and tell them
what's in my control. What is in my control?
These resolutions.
There are a lot of things that are not, but what's in my control? Yes.
Okay.
So because they say, look, I'm gonna put it out there. I got Rosetta Stone. I got Rosetta Stone last year because HSN was having an amazing sale and I had to get it. Okay, fine. So I got it, and it says if you practice the Rosetta Stone 30 minutes a day for a year, you will be fluent. You will, for 30 minutes a day, you will be fluent in a year.
Wow.
So I'm testing them and I'm gonna get my money.
I don't believe that though.
I believe it. Well, and it's probably gonna help for me anyway.
Well,
I'm already partly fluent.
But think about it. Kids who are in school who go to Spanish class every day and go through for 45 minutes a day.
But wait, here's another part of my resolution. I'm going to do it, but I have parts. So I've got the Rosetta Stone, so that's checked. So I've got there. But I also know people who speak Spanish, and I have told them only speak Spanish to
around
me.
you.
So it's almost like it's like an immersion.
You're going to make yourself.
I'm going to make myself. I'm doing it. Like, y'all, do you hear the determination in my voice?
I think one that will help you out a lot is when you eat at Mexican restaurants.
Yeah, only speak Spanish.
Right, and if you can't speak Spanish, then you go hungry.
Oh, well, I won't go chips and salsa.
No, but you know what?
Hold on. Churros y chocolate.
No, you're going to go hungry.
That's some sweets. Churros y chocolate.
Hey, we're going to take a break real quick, and we want to hear back from you. And when we come back, again, the number is 404-474-0080. This is The Absolute Truth. We'll see you back here in a few moments.
Adios.
for joining us here again on The Absolute Truth. You know, one of the topics we were mentioning earlier was we wanted to talk a little bit about the something's on the agenda for 2016 for the state of Georgia, and that's the new maybe gambling or casino law that will be put in place, and that will allow different groups of private entities to come into Georgia and create, more gambling and more able to build more casinos. Actually, right now, the state has been broken up into 6 zones, and which will allow for a casino in each one of those zones. And right now, I mean, it's a huge issue for quite a few people. A lot of people believe that, of course, with casinos and gambling being made more available, in the state of Georgia, of course, it will create a higher level of revenue stream, here in the state. Currently right now, we have the Georgia Lottery, which, I've never played the lottery before. Don't know how. I mean, I see people all the time.
I haven't played the lottery either.
But you never played before? Mm-hmm. You know anybody who's ever won?
I don't know anyone who's won. I know plenty of people that have played the lottery.
I know a lady she had a friend of hers who won a few years ago.
Well, she won $20. Oh, wait a minute. I do know somebody who won.
She won $8 million.
Oh, does she still have it?
What happened was when the lady that I know, who friend won the $8 million, she was so happy for her. And I said, "Why are you so happy?" She said, "Because she's my friend." And I said, "Oh yeah, well,
She
great."
ain't giving you no money.
Well, she can't find her now.
Yeah, I would.
Not that good a friend.
Yeah, if I got that, I'd leave too.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, right now, as far as the lotteries are concerned, of course, I don't play, but the thoughts out there in Georgia is that there are quite a few people who want the lottery, and there are those, of course, who don't. I mean, there's a climate that's building right now that says that it can be very viable, for the state. I mean, we do know that there are states that are around us that do have certain gambling. You have Mississippi that has some gambling, and they do pretty well. I think it's in Biloxi, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And I think it may be something. I'm not sure if it's in anything in Tennessee or anything along that line, but I do definitely know in Mississippi. Since me not being a gambler, I don't look for those places. But with that being said. And I know Governor Deal, he has been such a strong proponent as to not allow, for gambling here in Georgia. And,
right.
We know that the money that comes in from the Georgia Lottery, extends into the Hope Scholarship for students, to obtain scholarship money if they hold a certain GPA average, of course, in school. But my take on the situation is that there was a point when students only had to maintain a 3.0 in order to be available for the Hope Scholarship. Mm-hmm. Well, they've moved that number to 3.7. And one of the reasons why they moved it to 3.7, the truth of the matter is that a lot of the students were getting good grades, and they did not have enough money for the lottery to provide scholarships for the many students that were maintaining these grade point averages. So they actually raised the grade point average so that students would have to obtain a higher grade point average. But as far as what thoughts do you have? And of course, we want you all to call in with your thoughts on gambling. And as far as the casinos are concerned, again, the number is 404-474-0080. It's a real hot topic, and I think it's going to get a little bit more nastier in the months to come, since it's probably something that has to be voted on. But what's your thoughts as far as that's concerned?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so when you told me we were going to be talking about this, I was like,
You don't care. You don't care. But do you have any?
Don't gamble. It doesn't affect me.
So let me ask you this question.
But no, it brought up these questions.
Okay.
Then, since this is a big, issue, and I know that, some people like, some people don't. So the first thing I thought, because they're bringing horse racing too. They're talking about.
Well, they're trying. Yeah, they want to do that as well. Mm-hmm.
Like all those.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, you want horse racing, but you don't.
Well.
What?
That's like fun. That's like.
But it's gambling. What's the difference?
Well, did I say I was opposed?
Well, you looking at horses like you like horses. Like,
oh,
horses.
You can go and. It's like going to like the Kentucky
Derby. Okay. Well, horses in Villa Rica would not be the Kentucky Derby.
That might be a resolution for this year.
Or Gwinnett. Horses there would not be the Kentucky Derby. But I understand what you're saying, though.
But anyway, so the question is, so when I thought about it, I was like, oh yeah, the Hope Scholarship. So it's about education and everything. So my first thing was, is there because most times they won't, places want to bring it because it'll help like revive the economy.
Right. Okay.
Or whatever. And is that the reason?
Well, I mean, that's said,
or
but
does it really revive the economy?
It doesn't to a degree. I mean, you do see some revitalization. Again, you can look at Mississippi and look at the areas. I mean, it has provided jobs. But one thing you can look at along that lines is that the jobs is provided in the areas and the houses and homes that have been built in that area. Mississippi is not a huge tourist, hub, so they needed something, there. But at the end of the day, statistics do show that casinos, gambling does bring a certain level of crime element to it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And of course, a lot of people are somewhat concerned about that crime element.
Because when you go into these casinos and stuff like that, you can do everything in there.
What you mean?
Like, I mean, like you can drink,
you
can
never,
smoke,
I know,
you
but
can.
I thought you never.
Well, everybody been to Vegas.
No, we haven't.
You ain't been to Vegas?
I've been to Vegas, but I didn't go in a casino.
Well, how could you not go in a casino if you were staying in a hotel? Like every hotel has, you have to walk through the casino to get to your room.
You just keep on walking through there.
But so that's what I'm saying. You walk through it and you're like, because people are like smoking.
I had, you know what? I did go
like
to. I went to New Jersey, to Atlantic City. On one of my jobs, they asked me. I had to go on an assignment. And I actually stayed in the Taj Mahal.
Okay.
And it's the Taj Mahal right in Atlantic City. I stayed there. Next is hotel. Oh, couldn't even believe it.
But that's because it probably has a casino in it.
Donald Trump had it at the time. Sorry, Don.
Don. Is that what you call him?
He's the Don right
Mr.
now.
Trump, the Don.
But I mean, right now, like you said, I mean, yes, that element's there. You can do everything you want to do inside the casino.
So it would lend itself to.
But do you think, with that being said, do you think that more casinos come here adding more money to the Hope Scholarship or to education? Is that a good reason?
I don't think that's a good reason. That's what I was going to say. I don't think that's a good reason.
But why would you say that now when, I mean, the Georgia...
Okay, don't yell at me because I didn't say it.
Well, no, the Georgia Lottery itself right now is providing for Hope Scholarships. I mean, and we've had, I think, maybe 1.9 million kids who have benefited, from the Hope Scholarship. But I think the issue to me and for me is that that there is a certain amount of money that's supposed to be set aside for scholarship.
Yes.
All right. Now there was a 35% threshold that was made, or in order for the Georgia Lottery to take place, a 35% threshold of revenue that had to be given to, to the school systems. But there's a little loophole there. Even that 35% is not necessarily etched in stone. They have a very small little entitlement in there that basically says they can finagle that 35%.
Who is that?
The Georgia Lottery Commission, GLC.
Okay.
And what's happened is that every year that number has gone down. From the inception of the Georgia Lottery, they have not maintained that 35% since 1999. Every year has dropped.
It's gone down and down?
Yeah, 25, 24, 23.
And what are they doing with that
21.
money?
Well, and that's the big hitch about having these casinos in. What a lot of or what has been done with the Georgia Lottery is there have been monies that have been used because, of course, the state doesn't want to necessarily raise taxes. They use some of those monies for improvements, whether it be community improvements, even more improvements in the school systems and other places on that line. Of course, it's become a revenue stream for other things. And not many people may know, but the Georgia Lottery is under the authority of the governor, which then falls up under the part of the state senate, and then falls up under a small oversight committee. So Governor, Deal at the end of the day is the one who can, pull the plug or whatnot on the Georgia Lottery. So it's a
he's
catch.
Not going to.
Well, he
said he's not going to.
He's not going to. But here's the deal: he doesn't want to pull the plug on the Georgia Lottery, but he doesn't want casinos in. And why is that? Why do you want to maintain a Georgia Lottery, but you don't want to allow casinos into to the state?
Because he sees that it's going to bring a different element, and it's going to bring a different, crowd or group. I'm assuming, I haven't read that, but to me, in my mind, that's what it says. Like the lottery, you go out, you get a little ticket, you do whatever. But casinos, it's different. Like you're in there, you're standing, and it's going to bring, like you said.
Well, hold on 1 second. We have a caller. Go ahead, caller. Please state your name. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller. Can't hear you, caller. Maybe the caller's working on their resolution.
Okay.
Sorry about that. We couldn't get the call on the line. Maybe they were just in a deep thought.
So one of the another interesting part. Well, this is what I was going to say since we're talking about Nathan Deal. So he does say that if people want it, can you talk about that? If people want it, okay, there goes a call.
We have another caller. Hold on 1 second here. Go ahead, caller. Caller, can you hear me? Go ahead. Caller. We may be having a little bit of technical difficulty. All right, we'll try back in a minute. We'll probably when we go ready to go to break. But what were you saying again?
That if people vote, Nathan Deal was like, if the people want the casinos, that he's not going to stop it. Okay, we're going to try to call her one more time.
All right. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Yes, this is Rufus from Southwest Atlanta.
Hey, Rufus.
Go ahead, Rufus.
Merry Christmas.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
What's on your mind tonight,
Yes.
Rufus?
Yeah, I want my New Year's resolution.
What's your New Year's
yeah, what
resolution,
is it?
Rufus?
Okay, first of all, I'm gonna try to be a better guy that pays attention to the national issues,
Okay, that's good.
and I'm gonna try to gain some ways of the Republican Party by having my money right.
Okay, that's good too. You on a roll.
And finally, my hope for my New Year's, what I like to have for my New Year's resolution is that we have another Democratic president in the form of Hillary Clinton.
Okay, Mr. Rufus, that might have to go on the bottom of your list of resolutions there, my friend.
I didn't hear you, sir.
I said that may have to go on the bottom list of your resolutions.
I have to go to the bottom of the list.
Yeah, that may have to go on the bottom of the list. I mean, I remember you might have mentioned you called in once before about Miss Clinton, and as I mentioned before, I understand you might want someone from the Democratic Party in the chair, but that's more than a resolution. That's going to have to be more of a revelation.
So you don't think Hillary could be a good president over, let's say, a candidate like Donald Trump?
I think Hillary brings too many question marks to the table right now, too many ifs, right now for the Democratic Party. And if you can think about it, she's the only candidate who really has any viable hope of even trying to win. The Democratic Party absolutely has no one else other than Hillary Clinton. I mean, she just looks good because everybody else looks so bad.
I see what you're saying. So basically, can I ask you a question? Was you a Democratic man once before?
I mean, at times before, and I think I've answered this question on the show before. It's not so much as Democratic or Republican. It's more so who's in the position to be able to support the ideas and beliefs and thoughts that I currently have for the country and my family.
Oh, I see. You must have plenty of money, but at the end of the day, you got a great show. Seem like you
Rufus,
you got plenty of money.
Rufus,
that's why you want to switch parties.
Well, you know what?
A black Republican.
Not necessarily,
You're
Rufus.
African American, correct?
Well, yes, I'm African American, but Rufus, let me ask you a question. We were talking a little bit about the casinos. I mean, what's your thoughts on these casinos?
Oh Lord, no. No way.
Why?
You don't gamble, Rufus?
Downtown. You talking about that project? Talking about down there? What's the area? The underground? Oh no! You talking about more crime to this area? Because really, when you look at it overall, let's be real. Who's gonna be playing? Who's gonna be in the casinos playing the slots and the crap tables? The poor people, not the rich people.
Hey, Rufus, do you gamble?
I used to.
What
I had
happened?
to realize I don't have that type of money. When you talking about gambling, you talking about very serious
It
because
is.
you can really get addicted, and the next day you know you're going to be spending money you don't supposed to be spending. So I had to really back off that. And then I had a daughter that's in college right now, so I had to be a lot more mature when I got away from gambling. But I used to go down to Tunica down in Mississippi, 30 miles outside Memphis. That used to be my spot.
Well, you know what, Rufus, let me ask you something. I mean, I appreciate your honesty, but you know, as far as the gambling is concerned, isn't that more of a moral issue?
Look here, man. I love you, man. You usually I don't like no black Republicans, but you got a lot of common sense. And a lot of stuff you say, you back it up with issues, and it seems like you do your homework, and you're a very intelligent young man.
I try to be.
Come on, man. It ain't no moral issue. We talking about putting something down in the underground in a city with over 6 million people. You already said you're having problems in Fulton County as far as crime rate, right?
Right.
And then you put a casino down there. What you think on track?
Well, let
It's
me.
gonna attract the people from the gutter, man.
Well,
then you gonna have crime that's gonna spread all over into the metro areas of Atlanta.
Well, let me ask you something. So, what's the difference between the casinos and the Georgia Lottery? People are already gambling.
It's a whole lot of difference between the Georgia lottery, man.
Well, and what's
It's cheaper to play the Georgia lottery. Come on now.
I mean, it may be cheaper to play the Georgia Lottery, but I mean, the reason behind the Georgia Lottery was again for the schools, but the schools are not sending much money from the lottery anymore like they used to.
Let me put you in the mindset.
Okay, go
When
ahead.
you go in the store, you playing the lottery, right?
Sure.
You can play the lottery with $1.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in a casino, it's very rarely you can play anything $1.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
The porch slots.
Okay, so I'm asking you, how can you ask me a question like that?
Well, again, the reason.
My bad though. I see that you're the black Republican, so you want to keep poor people down because that's what you're gonna do if you bring a casino in the city of Atlanta.
But wait a minute. I mean, even if you don't bring a casino here, people are gonna play the casino no matter where they gotta go. I mean, you have buses that come all the way to Georgia and take people to
Come on, man.
Alabama,
Come on, man.
Mississippi.
Come on now.
People gonna play if they want to
Somebody
play.
got a lot of common sense here.
But aren't people
Come
gonna
on,
play?
man. It take a lot. You got to save up to ride buses, man.
Oh.
What trip you said? $90?
No.
$90? Come on, man.
Remember the mega
You
bus.
bring it into the backyard.
Mega
You gonna have
bus.
people skipping work. And I'm telling you, you're going to have crime rate that's going to go through the roof.
You think so? Okay. Well, you know what, Rufus? Hey, we appreciate you calling in, Rufus. And look,
Rufus.
you have a great night, Rufus. I really appreciate your comments on here on the Absolute Truth. But thank you so much, Rufus.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
New Year. So Rufus did make a
Good point.
one of the things that he was saying. He made a couple of good points, but one of the things that stood out to me was, you know, some of the people that are going to go, when he was talking about it's going to be poor people that are going to be there gambling. And I was reading where it said 4% of, you know, people who just kind of like go in and like gamble when they, you know, they just go in and gamble and leave. Like 4% of the revenue comes from them, but it's those people that just sit at the slots and they have their credit cards or whatever, and they're just going and going and going and going. And the point that they were making is that it's really a breeding ground for, you know, people who have problems or issues or don't have a, you know, control over how they spend their money. And it could be people who are just down on their luck, and or they, you know, believe in that, or I'm gonna, you know, make this big break, and they're gonna go and they might be spending their last. That's just one of the issues
Sure.
that has been, you know, brought up. You know, it's like crime is one, and then it's also it's gonna, you know, not benefit this group of people.
Well, again, you know, it's a quick fix for a lot of people. It is definitely a breeding ground for addiction. You know, and people get addicted to a lot of different things.
A lot of different
It's not just, you know, gambling. You know, it's drugs. It can be other different areas in their life that they find themselves addicted to. You know, but again, and that's why I brought up the point. It's a moral issue. It's not a gambling issue. It's just if you, and again, as I mentioned before, and I make light of this because I was talking about how, you know, I had to discipline myself about a certain thing. You know, gambling is a certain same area within your life. You have to have a certain amount of discipline.
What are you addicted to, sweet tea?
I was. Yes, I was drinking maybe 8 to 10 glasses every time I went out. You know?
Oh, that's ridiculous.
It might
pretty
be, but
terrible.
yes, it was. It was. And
sorry,
I am not being an advocate of drinking that much tea. You know, but again, yes, it was an addiction. You know, to me. You know, but again, and casinos are the same way. It's an addiction. But we're gonna, of course, they bring in jobs. Casinos bring in jobs, and yes, there is a certain criminal element that falls behind this type of industry. But do we say to the state of Georgia that we don't want to allow this because of the criminal element, or do we find different ways to bring in or create more revenue streams for the state of Georgia? But you know, again, it's a big issue. But a lot of people want gambling.
I think it's gonna go, because what I was saying before Rufus called was that he's not going to, if it
maybe make discussion again. I gambled in Las Vegas, you know, and he had said in the past that Georgia State stand. I'm here in Facebook. Thank you for joining us again on Salute Truth.
Excuse me. I'm finishing my text.
No, you can't finish your text. You trying to ask somebody about gambling?
I know. Lottery.
No, but you know, again, that was a hit.
But I know you're not. What is the ball thing?
No, and it's not.
And you could win, and that could be you. The name.
Well,
you can shut it all down.
But see, this is the thing. In my personal belief is this: God wants everybody a chance to win. You get not this way. He still wants everybody. So why know that these monies are planning into a system that you won't necessarily see a return on?
Being a good.
How many people at lottery? I mean, you know.
It's funny that you say that, because I was having, and this was before you even said we were going to talk about this. When we were, I was that with BL.
Right.
But about where people are like these, and a huge percentage of them have had filed bankruptcy. Why would you have to file bankruptcy just $1 million?
Exactly.
Why are you filing bankruptcy? It is because you don't know how to handle your money. But that swing right into resolutions. One of your resolutions, I think, that should be. But people should some financial resolutions. Now to be your savings or some other financial goals. And if it's rain, do not have a lottery.
What do you think that makes a resolution to spend more money
to start gambling?
Tax right? Because I mean, consider that you can be a full time, and it can be for your tax. Well, a lot of
we digress.
But back busting on that is this. But at the end of the day, he was a proponent for the lottery. Well, first and foremost, casinos. The truth of the matter is that you have to put someplace legislation doesn't own the same, because if you in the lottery only win something that here because I hand is the journey. That's
personal
deal. You know, before this happens, gambling here in Georgia, you look around going on, Steve's Georgia State just bought, but you said you don't.
No, I didn't say. Hard. And
but how do you think it affected
every time?
Oh yeah.
Every gamble with, and you can to your heart
about this.
From experience, you want to go off at the family that do.
You know, you and bigger. Ask you this news.
Good. Listening.
What
question?
Take the money while you. I'm gonna take some.
I gotta. But I don't even like little ball, mega ball. I think you're the wrong
line. You say you at the end of the day. Well,
with the people, you can drink. If this is so, if you want if you here, limit is 2. You want to get lotto.
You know,
call in who drinks. I know it's a rate. Okay.
All right.
Okay, just gonna keep like we said, voting. Anything comes up to you Tuesdays. Time